Hello, all you children. I know this week we've been talking about apples, and you guys have probably, some of you have painted with apples, and some of you have counted the seeds in an apple, and some of you have tasted apples. And I'm going to tell you a story about me. When I was little, I was at school and we were going on a field trip. Let me sit back in my chair. We were going on a field trip with my class, and I got to ride on a school bus for the very first time, and I was so excited because we were going to an apple farm. I was more excited, really, about being able to ride on a bus because I had never been on a bus before. When I went to school, my mommy would take me to school, and then she would come and pick me up. So I never got to ride on a school bus. And we were riding on a bus going to the apple farm, and I was so excited. And when we were on the bus, the teacher told us that there were 3 rules that we had to follow. One of them was that we had to be quiet because the driver needed to be able to pay attention. And the second one was that we had to listen to the lady who was going to talk to us about the apple trees. And the third one was that we had to stay with our class. 3 rules. I followed the first rule. I did listen. I was quiet on the school bus just because I was so excited. I couldn't believe it that we were riding around on a big giant yellow bus. So we pulled up at the farm, and there were a lot of buses there because there were a lot of kids going to the farm to pick apples from the apple trees from a lot of different schools. So the lady from the farm came on the bus. She was wearing a red apron that had a whole bunch of apples all over it. And she said that she was the apple lady. And we had to listen to her because she was going to take us to a couple of apple trees, and we could all pick our own apple to take back to school. She was also going to talk to us about apple trees and why there were different kinds of trees and what the different apples tasted like. She was very nice, and she really knew what she was doing. So when our bus pulled up right in front of the apple tree, she said, "Do you guys see the signs? There are 2 signs. There's a number 3 and a number 4. Those are the 2 trees that your class is going to." So I thought, okay, we're going to go to those 2 trees and we're going to pick apples. And she said, "You guys can each pick an apple to take back to school with you." So we got off the bus and we went over to the trees. And some of the trees had some limbs that were hanging down really low, and you could pull the apple right off the tree. But I couldn't find a limb that I could reach. They were higher than I was. I was not as tall as some of the kids in my class. Some of them were really tall, and some people were shorter, like me. So I tried to reach way up, and I could not reach the limb to pull the apple off the tree. So there was a little boy next to me, and his name was Charlie, and he said, "Linda, look, there's some apples on the ground. Pick one of those up." So I looked down and I picked up an apple. Ew, it was mushy. I did not want a mushy apple. I wanted a nice apple. And so then I looked over and I saw another tree, and nobody was around that tree. It did not have a number 3 or a number 4 next to it. It had a number 5 next to it. But nobody else was there. And there was a branch and a limb that was leaning way down. And I thought, oh, I see an apple over there. I'm going to run over there really quick, and I'm going to take that apple right off that tree. And I went over and I saw the apple. And I picked it. And then I turned around, and all my friends were gone. The teacher was gone. The lady from the bus was gone. No one was there. I was a little bit sad. I thought, do you guys hear the phone ringing? And nobody's answering the phone. I think Miss Linda's in here all by herself. I'm at school and nobody's answering the phone. Uh-oh, now somebody's calling. Hold on one second. I'm doing a story. Can I call you right back? Okay, I'll call you right back. Bye. And then all of a sudden, I looked and nobody was anywhere to be found. So you know what I did? I started to cry. And this man that worked there said, why are you crying? I said, my class is gone. And he said, oh no, we better go find them. And all of a sudden I heard a school bus and I heard them turn it on and it was making a big loud noise and I knew that that was my school bus. And now I wasn't going to go back to school with my friends. And if I didn't go back to school with my friends, then I wasn't going to be at my school and my mommy wasn't going to be able to pick me up because I wasn't going to be there because I was going to be at the farm, and then I wasn't going to be able to go home, and if I didn't go home, I wouldn't be able to play with my friends in the neighborhood, and then I wouldn't be able to eat dinner with my family because I would be stuck here at the apple farm, and I didn't like to eat apples for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Well, my teacher came off of the bus, and she said, Linda, what are you doing? And I said, oh no, I'm really sorry. And she said, it's okay. She said, you need to get on the bus. And I got on the bus. I could tell she was not very happy with me. We got back to school and she said, okay, everybody, let's take our apples out and let's look at them. So I took my apple out of my lunch bag, and it looked dirty from being in the dirt. But I knew I could wash it off. But then I saw a hole. There was a hole in my apple. And it went all the way through to the other side. That was not the top of my apple. There was a hole.
CK is leaving the playground.
There was a hole in my apple. And my teacher said, oh dear, Linda, it looks like there was a worm in your apple. What? I did not want to eat an apple that has a worm in it. That is disgusting. And so I said, I really don't want this apple. And my teacher said, I'm sorry, honey. She said, that tree that you picked the apple from, there was something wrong with some of the apples on the tree. That's why they didn't let us go over there to pick apples. She said, some of the apples on the tree just had a problem. I think maybe it was the worms. I was so sad. One of my friends gave me a green apple. I was really happy that I had another apple to eat. But then I realized you have to listen to your teachers. They know what's best for you, and that was a rule that I did not follow that day. But I would if I were you guys, because your teachers are smart people.